Hello and welcome to CK Lifestyle Outlook. My name is Lady Akijon CK. I'm very sorry for a while I've been out of media due to some certain reasons, but I'm very pleased to announce to you that right now we're back and we're stronger. Yeah. So what's CK Lifestyle Outlook about? CK Lifestyle Outlook is about mindset reformation. It's about changing our mindset about certain things, then discovering particular problems that where people have notion that doesn't really suit well, or then we discover a kind of place where people in the society are lagging behind, or they don't have knowledge on how to act on this. Then we bring up for those stuff. Sometimes our problem is not that we do what we do because we want to do that. No, we sometimes do it because we don't know any other thing apart from that. So CK Lifestyle Outlook is about working on two things. One, our ignorance on certain matters as it concerns life. Two, mindset reformation. So thank you very much for joining me today. So the topic that's before us this day: how to be mentored by distant high profile individuals. Now, what do I mean by this topic? Well, I actually mean that sometimes the problem and challenges we face in mentorship is that when I finally stand up to discover that, hey, I think I need a mentor in my life, I need someone to guide me through this process, I need to watch somebody who has achieved similar thing that I have achieved, and to see and watch the principles that person followed to get to the level. And sometimes the problem we now face is that that person is a person of high value, and not just that the person is someone of high value, but the person is a high profile individual. The person is without your reach. For example, let's say the person you so love Chimamanda Adichie, you're so fascinated by her works, and you just feel like, oh my god, I feel like this woman, I want to be mentored by this woman, I need to be mentored by Chimamanda Adichie, I love what she's into, I love, you understand? And the problem you have is that, oh, look at where you are. It will take you ages, and it looks almost impossible for you to get to reach her and understand what really is informing her mindset or get her to mentor you. But today, I'm going to teach you how you're going to be able to have Chimamanda Adichie mentor you from a distance. First of all, we're gonna get to know what mentorship is all about. What's mentorship? Yeah, mentorship is all about someone who has gone ahead of you, guiding you through the process in that particular sphere of life. Now, for example, we use Chimamanda Adichie as an example. Okay, for example, let me give an example of myself. My mentor, one of my mentor is T.Y. Bello. Like T.Y. Bello, you know T.Y. Bello? T.Y. Bello is a photographer. She is also a singer, and she's a philanthropist. She's into fashion too. These are some things that we don't know about her. We only know she's photographer. Some also know her as a musician, but we don't know this aspect of that she's also an educator. She's into fashion. There's a lot of things to that, philanthropist and some other things also related to that. So okay, so just because she's my mentor, that's why I get to know her deeper than just this facet that some just know her. Okay, now, so what I was saying then, let's say what I admire about T.Y. Bello is her photography skills or her wealth of knowledge in photography. And then I'm not trying to say, when I'm talking about being mentored by her, I'm talking about being guided by T.Y. Bello and then following that pathway to get to where she is in that line of photography. Okay, now it's that why I'm saying in that aspect of life. For example, T.Y. Bello, or for example, let's say Chimamanda Adichie might be a feminist, and I am not a feminist, and I don't want to be a feminist. And Chimamanda Adichie, I admire her for her words. Now, now for that her work, that means I'm following her, I'm getting to know more about her, I'm getting to know what's really informing her mindset and what really good principles is she following to get to this level she is in a line of her writing skills. But then when it comes to her personal life, I don't emulate that. But except if I love her in all aspects. I love being a feminist, I love being a writer, and other aspects she's engaged in. I can decide to follow her in other phases of life. So one thing I want to let you know before we continue is that mentorship is all about the getting an insight into the principles that this person is into, what's really informing this person's mindset, and what's the driving force that's making this person to follow what he or she is doing passionately, and what is really getting the result for him or her, and then getting it and applying it to your own life. So mentorship is not all about copying exactly the way this person does, the person hairstyle, the way the person talks, the way the person walks, and the rest into the personal lives of the person, or the way the person handles his or her personal lives. Oh, okay, if that pleases you also, you might decide to follow the principles, but then you don't need to copy the whole lifestyle of that person. You understand? So you are unique in your own way. You're gonna find ways which you are unique, except you discover that there are certain things that T.Y. Bello or Chimamanda Adichie does that you love, that is even your passion too. Let's say she's into fashion and you don't really like fashion, but you know you love her for her photography skills. Hey, you don't really need to go into fashion too. But then, except if you love fashion too, or you discover that there's this particular hairstyle she loves making, and except you discover that I am in love with this hairstyle on my own, it's my unique way then, but then you cannot, but not because she is this way and then you have to follow her. Okay, that's all. Let's go on for what we have to say today about how to be mentored by high profile individuals. Before that, let me let you know you can have more than one mentor. Let's say depending on the different facets you're talking about. Let's say you're talking about let's say your spiritual life. You can have a mentor. Your mentor in your spiritual life might not necessarily be your mentor when it comes to your career. That's where we get it wrong sometimes. We make our pastor is not, maybe for example, your pastor is not in line. Okay, for me, my pastor happens to also be one of my mentors, both in the spiritual things and also in accomplishing my life purpose. You understand? My life statement, the goals I have, so both in my purpose and in my goals, my pastor is one of my mentors there. But some of us, our pastor doesn't have anything to do with our professional career or goals. Sometimes it just has to do with our purpose, our spiritual life, and the rest. But then you don't need to only stick to him. You can step out of the box. Get someone who is in line with that and then follow him through. Now, okay, so wherever or however the form of mentorship projects itself, it is mentorship. Let's say the way you're getting to know this person. Okay, for example, the fact that I am relating with my mentor on one basis doesn't change the fact that this other person who is relating with his mentor via the internet, let's say they do discuss sometimes through let's say Zoom or a video call or audio calls, and it doesn't change the fact that it's not mentorship. But then I'm going to tell you about mentorship in a different dimension today. Now, when I talk about mentorship with people of high profile individuals, now let's say Chimamanda or T.Y. Bello, or what guy should I talk about now? The missionary females. Okay, if you're a guy and you know someone, you might just mention it. If I call T.Y. Bello, you call yours. But I'm going to be using T.Y. Bello for mine because T.Y. Bello is my mentor. Okay, so now let's say T.Y. Bello is my mentor. Okay, she is actually my mentor, and she's out of my reach. She's in Lagos, I'm in Enugu, and in fact the access is not even yet created. There's no way I can access her maybe at this point of my life now, and I watch her and I love her and I love her and I love what she's doing and I want to be like her. What am I going to do? Hey, I'm not going to start waiting till the day I get to T.Y. Bello. Let me give you a story. There's this man, a man of God. His name is Apostle Joshua Selman. He was giving an example that there was a day a young man got access to him, came around, and he was like, "Sir, I need your mentorship. I need you to mentor me." He asked him, "Do you have my teachings?" He said, "Yes, I have your teachings. In fact, I have your teachings from so year to so year." He said, "Like seriously? And you're still like this?" Now look at it. Mentorship is not just all about seeing me one-on-one, coming to sit down with me. It's about knowing what is informing my mindset and applying those principles to your life to gain the same results that I am having. So you don't need, it doesn't really need to be me sitting down with you. I sitting down with you and teaching you what I know. Yeah, I have those things in online. I have my teachings on YouTube. I have my teachings everywhere. So go get my teachings, listen to them and follow them. Before you know, you'll be reproducing my results. What is mentorship all about? Reproducing that same result you see in that person, or even more than, and particularly, most especially in your own unique way, but then reproducing that same result. Okay, now this is how I started my mentorship session with T.Y. Bello. Now someone was, in fact, it got to an extent that someone was asking me one day, "Hey, CK, do you know T.Y. Bello in person?" And I was like, "No." "Why do you ask?" So he was like, actually, see, even if you tell me you don't know T.Y. Bello in person, I won't believe you, but then I will still ask, "Do you know T.Y. Bello in person?" And I was like, "No." It was like, I don't know if till today he really believes I don't really know T.Y. Bello in person. But then because of the way my life is structured, he can see a picture of the result she is reproducing in me too. So that is why he's able to ask me that question, and then it's unbelievable to him that I don't know T.Y. Bello in person. Now, what are the steps I took? Now, these are what I did. I discover, especially if the person you are looking forward to mentor you has resources online. Now at first I was like, the stuff T.Y. Bello pushes online, is it not just the songs she teaches? Does she have a time when she come and sit down and start telling you, "Okay, these are the principles I applied in life, this is what I did in life"? Yeah, she might not do that, but do you know what I discovered? When I started listening to her music, I started to understand what is bringing about her mindset. I begin to understand what is her values, what she values, what are the principles she's applying. Yeah, she didn't just come down and sit down and start telling me, "CK, this is what I did." No. But then when I was listening to her music, I started getting insight to some of the things that are influencing her. I went online and I read about the interviews that some people had with her, and I gain insight into the principles she's applying, the values she's keeping. I listened to her videos where people call her for interviews, and where they interview her, and she releases some truths there, some principles, some values. And I'm like, "Oh, like seriously? So this is what she is doing." And I begin to apply that too. So I get her music, I watch her videos, I watch her ministrations, I watch her I go on and watch the videos she make, the photographs she make, and I'm inspired, and I'm knowing, okay, this is what she's doing. And when I'm kind of listening to her interviews, I'm not getting insight to why she did this thing the way she did it, and I'm applying that, and I'm getting same results. And one thing I also like to add, celebrate them too. Once you begin to celebrate them, the person you honor, before you know, you start becoming like that person. Now, if you check my space, that is how it is. I surround myself with people like this. Now, when I'm listening to her, I'm getting to know more about her. I feel even more closer to her. Sometimes I'm like, "Oh, CK, you know that you don't even know T.Y. Bello in person. You've not met her in person." Actually, I know I happen to be the kind of person that have a lot of friends that I don't even know them. I've not met them in person. But then sometimes I'll not remember that, I've not met this person, I've not even met this person one-on-one, but then I feel very close to the person. Why? Because we communicate regularly. One thing I would like to add, make a date with your mentor. Have a date with your mentor. Have a date, you don't just make it anyhow. A date you set apart that this day I'm going to listen to my mentor. I'm going to listen to T.Y. Bello's clips. I'm going to watch T.Y. Bello's photographs. Yeah, I'm going to watch T.Y. Bello's interviews. I'm going to watch T.Y. Bello's videos. I'm going to read up about the biography of T.Y. Bello. It's not just all about, if you go, you might just say biography might just be just a little of it. But then when you get to watch them speak, you get more insight into it. It's just like you get to you know them one-on-one. The only thing that the person is not physically there for you to ask some questions. Now, one question you ask me is like, CK, what about this aspect that I know? Okay, that aspect is good. She's guiding me in this process. But then, what if I have questions? How am I going to do about it? This is what I do. I meet people that have gone ahead of me in that line, but then I have access to them. I ask them those questions. For example, let's say I'm talking about her in photography. There are other people that are into photography that are not T.Y. Bello, but I have access to them. There are people that are that are higher than me in that profession. I ask them, do you know of this? Do you know what is this? What is this and what is that? Why is this way? And I'm getting to know that. So she is teaching me, and I'm asking the question to another person. Now, let me tell you something. You might be waiting. Those people that are even waiting for the day they get access to T.Y. Bello, do you know there are the people that will finally get access to T.Y. Bello, and they will not even maximize the time? Yeah, there are a lot of people that you get to see, and you'll be like, hey, do you mean you know this person in person? And then you look at the person, and the person is not even like someone who has access to that person. That's why you see people who are close to a particular person, but then the person is misbehaving. They have access to that person. You're like, if you get access, I for maximize them. Start now that you're not close to that person to maximize it. It is now when you now get to that person, that's when you now. Let me not go very far. I'm not supposed to talk for more than 10 minutes, but I'm sure I've done so right now. But then, see, next week we're going to tell you steps that are going to take you closer to your mentors. That, in fact, at the point your mentor will start noticing you. Yeah, T.Y. Bello hasn't noticed me yet, but then I'm sure she's going to. I'm sure one day I'm going to refer to this video back. I'm sure I'm going to come in contact with her one day. But then, sometimes it's not all about start writing on social media, Ma, I want you to mentor me. Or you see them, maybe they come for a conference and you are running, hey, Ma, you are trying to look for a way to meet her and tell her that you want her mentorship. It's not always about that. In fact, that's not even, at that point you even buckling them. People will be like, look at this person. Yeah, ask. It's good to ask. If you have the opportunity to meet that person one-on-one, very good. Ask. But then there are certain things that will make the person to admit you as his or her mentees. There are certain things that will get you closer to that person more than running after them and writing on all their social media handles, I want you to mentor me, I want you to mentor me. But then do you know they have people they mentor? Do you know they have mentees? How did those mentees get close to them? How did they get the access? I'll be sharing some truth with you next Sunday. So I'm sure you love what you heard today, and if you love it, I want you to like it, I want you to share it. I also want you to subscribe and call other people that, hey, there are some truths that you hardly can hear anywhere that CK is releasing here. Come and get it for free. The only thing that it costs you is that your data to watch, but then no one is paying you for that. So please try to subscribe and to share with others too. Thank you. See you next Sunday. I'll be here right with you, and the topic we'll be discussing next Sunday will be how to gain the attention of high profile individuals as your mentors. So thank you very much. See you next time. Bye.